Hello guys, it's Paula and I'm here today in this short video to show you guys my new digitals. Now this is a new sales thing that I'm doing, and it's just not overpriced. Okay, I did not overprice anything. I made it affordable, and I want you guys to be the first to see them. So I did show the first two in another video, and then I decided that I just needed to release them in their own video. They deserve their own video. So I am going to show you the first one I did. The first one I did with fabric, and I had my mama in my head when I did it, and I thought about how my mom always inspired me to sew and to show my creativity. And my mom had, with all the busy time she had, she always made time to make quilts. Now, they weren't anything special. They were just squares sewn together with scraps that she could get her hands onto. And so she would spread it out on the floor, and she'd do the tacking on it, and most of the time she left the tacking on it, but not always. And so any of the quilts that I have that were my mom's, I've given to my daughter, and it ended up just being a part of a quilt. And my daughter at some point is going to make a wall hanging out of it or frame it. And so that's a special thing for me. And when I was going through my mom's things a while back, I was going through her sewing basket that I got, and digging through that and looking at all the vintage stuff my mom had, I found four shapes of a grocery bag, cut out of a grocery bag. And I unclipped them and I looked at them, and it was my mom's pattern that she had made herself. It wasn't perfectly square. It was just, she drew it probably with a ruler, and I cut them out, and she used them over and over and over again, and you could see her love in those grocery bag squares. So anyway, I miss my mom. Anyway, so I do want to show you what I did, like my mom. So I came up with 4 different quilts for 4 different seasons. So it's just, this is the spring quilt, and I just called this series Seasons. But it is spring quilt right here. And if you look really close, you can see that I actually stitched the fabric. This is done with fabric. And not all of this, maybe a couple of these squares, like this is a vintage, believe it or not, and this is vintage, but some of them are not. The polka dot is. On this particular one, they're not all vintage. This one, I think, is. Okay, so this is the spring quilt, and I've done, in my collage book, no, I take that back. I'll show you what I did with it. And I know you've seen this video. I finished it though, so I used this quilt, spring quilt, in this video. Yes, I inked it, so it's a little darker. I didn't ink my digitals because some people don't like ink, some people like ink, some people like a lot of ink. So you can do to them whatever you want. And this is Doily. That's going to be released in today's. I'm actually going to release some of them. And then here is some more of it. Yeah, so I am going to show you the newest ones in a minute. So these I have shown to some people who's watched my channel. They've not really been advertised any other way. I'm not in it to make a lot of money on it. Here is the summer quilt. None of these fabrics are vintage. Okay, and I put them together the same way by zigzagging. Okay, and the third one is the fall quilt. All of these are vintage. If you notice, they look like 1960s, 1970s. Okay, this is the fall or autumn. Oh, these two squares are not. Those were Tim Holtz and that one. But otherwise, they're all vintage. I dug and dug through my old vintage fabric. And as you can see, it is stitched with either brown or black. I think it's black. It may be brown. Okay, now that's the fall. And the last one is winter. This really reminds me of my mom's, because this is how it would look. You could go along, you see a pastel, and then you'd see a dark color. And a lot of these are vintage. I can tell you, this one is not. This one is not. This one is not. And this one is not. But everything else is. They had some weird looking fabric. Look at that. It's odd, isn't it? Now, I'm not sure. I just forgot about this. I'm not sure about the tie-dye. It was in with my vintage. But who knows? Look at that. That was different. They tried to be creative, but it was kind of hard, huh? Mostly they just did shapes and so forth. So, this is the winter, fall, summer, and spring. So this is my seasons, quilt seasons, or season quilts, or whatever you want to call it. It's my quilts. And they can be used for anything. They can be darkened. You can do whatever. Okay, now I did a few collage pages that I played around with by myself and had fun doing these, and did some on camera. And then I embellished them more and went further with them. Now this I was not going to use because it was so simple. But I was really proud of I took my little ruler and just drew around them, and I used all kinds of stuff. I used trims. I did it all there. Now these don't have names. This is just Collage Kit 1 of 5. Sadie. I'm going to grab Sadie for a second. I'm sorry. She needs some attention. Come here, baby. You'll come say hi to everybody? Come on, let's go say hi to everybody. Sadie does not have her face washed today. I try to wash it every other day, but I'm going to set Sadie down and let you see her. She had a really pretty trip to the... Sit down, Sadie. You want to sit right here? Look here. Yeah, she's got that little poodle cut. Hold still, baby. Want to say hi to my friends? Yes. Yes, you want to say hi to my friends. Watch that tail. Sadie, do you want to say hi? Look here. Look at Mama. What are you doing? You got little tears in your eyes. Sadie weighs almost 7 pounds, guys. She was supposed to not be born 4. So that was a surprise to us. She is a sweetheart. And we love her. We have fell in love with her. Oh, she's going to shake. All right, Sadie. You've got your attention. You had your attention now. Can you sit right here and let Mama finish? Okay, I'll let you sit there. All right, so I'm going to hold her. I'm sorry. She's going to be all over them if I don't. So this is the second collage page. And I just added all kinds of vintage dictionary, music sheet, some vintage text. And I added a scallop along the side. I zigzagged. I straight stitched. I did just whatever. And then I added trim lace right there. I don't know if that's, I think that's the only lace I added to this one. I have some vintage wrapping paper right in here. And so yeah, so that is 2 of 5. This is my third one. And you're probably looking at them thinking, what can I do with those? Well, you can tear around them. You can tear them apart. Use your tear tool. I trimmed this one in a little bit of craft. I put some craft underneath. And this has a lot of, and very old Better Homes and Gardens magazine. If you look really close, you can see dates of the magazine. Let's see. This one right here is 1946. I'm going to be using a lot of these old. There's some trim. There's a bird. He's looking right at you, see? But there's several kinds of different articles in here. And if you look right here on this list, it says 1945. So this has a lot of character, I think. I like this. I like how it turned out. Okay. This one has a lot of vintage wrapping paper and vintage doilies and lace. So right there is some vintage lace, vintage music sheet, and all of these are vintage wrapping paper. There's an old doily. There's a part of a doily right there. I'm going close so you can get an up. You can see there's I cut a part of an old doily there. There is a doily. It was all flowers and I cut them apart. And I have another one like that. And this little one down here also was cut apart. Okay, I hope I'm not making you dizzy. Here is some more vintage lace. Now I'm going to bring it back where you can see it. Just wanted you to see the details because I think it makes such a difference. And it makes it fun. Makes it lots of fun. And I used a kind of a gray blue thread. Okay, this one is done in yellows and blacks. And I just tore old papers and ads and different things. There's a big square of old lace. There's a handkerchief edging that had been crocheted. There's tea stain paper, craft paper, just old music sheet and so forth. The black text right there is an old cardstock I had in my stash. But other than that, and then there's a big corner of a piece of doily right there. I stitched this in the gray black. I'm going to pull it back now. Whoops, so you can see. All right, so that is the second kit. It is a 5-piece kit, or 5-page, and the first one was 4-page. Okay, now this is my new one. I have collected doilies for years and years, and I've gotten some lately. You know, I'm always looking for them. So this is pillowcase, table runner, and a couple doilies. So I've had people requesting the pillowcase with the flower basket, and it's hard to make it look great because it was white with pink and blue, but it, I think, came out pretty good. It shows you, even on here, you can see the background fabric, how detailed that fabric is. You know, it had the brown flecks of something, and it was embroidered. So So here it is. It has lavender, yellow, blue, pink. And it's centered on this paper perfectly. My husband does a good job at that. And then it had crochet along the bottom. This is a really pretty pillowcase. And here's the overall. Now I tore it and put it in my collage book. You can go back and check that out about 3 collage book videos ago. Okay, so that is number 1 of 5. There's 5 in this set also. This is an old doily. My Aunt Frankie always made the most beautiful doilies. And this is the actual size of the doily on here. So I have a big one and I have this one. So I just thought I'd go ahead and put this one on so you can see the edging too right there. Okay. This is really pretty too. That one is. You've seen this one. I've corrected a lot of things. I've tried to get it very center. It's still not perfectly center because it wouldn't fit any other way. But is that not beautiful? It's got a beautiful color. I love it. It's like my favorite. No story on that one. This was a table runner. And I'm going to show you the portrait size one first. This is a 2-part doily. So what fun can you have with that? That is embroidered. All of it is embroidered. And purple and lavender and 2 tones of green. I'm going to bring it up a little bit for you. See if you can see it. And it was done really well. I will say that. But it is old. And the pillowcase and this had a lot of stains. And it took some creativity to be able to... Here's the landscape view, because believe it or not, there's several on the runner. It kind of goes all the way across, and you could see right here where I couldn't get the tallest on the landscape. So then I thought, well, I want him to get a bunch, so I did it both directions, and you were able to see the whole thing. So you got a bonus page there. All right, guys. So this is my doilies, set 1. There will be many more sets, just so you know. And there is the pillowcase. So I hope you guys like my new kits. And remember, I have not inked them. I inked around the outside of the collage set, which is this set here. Can barely tell, but I did, because I decided people like bright, people don't. So you can do whatever you want on it. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Go to my Etsy shop to check these out. The link is below, and let me know what you think. All right, see you in the next video. Bye.